in LA this week.
What's happening in Los Angeles?
Well, we've seen a surge in the number of positive cases and also a surge in hospitalization. So that's where we're starting to get concerned.
Bring people back to work so we can have adequate staffing and bring us back safe so we can go home safe to our families.
I always think about the people of Watts and what's happening with them. Let them know that they're never forgotten, that they have people who will always look out no matter where we are.
Hello everyone, I'm Saida Pagan. Here's what's happening in LA this week. With the number of positive COVID-19 cases on the rise, residents of Los Angeles have seen a rapid spread of health awareness and, unfortunately, widespread misinformation. Even the when and how of wearing a face mask has become very confusing. Well, fortunately for us, Joanne O'Brien of LA Personnel Medical Services stopped by to give us a refresher. Maria Hall Brown has the story.
Well, currently 1 in 140 people in Los Angeles get COVID, and the stats say that it might even go to 1 in 100 or 1 in 70 if we don't take some action pretty quickly. We're not in a good space right now, but in general, what's happening in Los Angeles?
Well, we've seen a surge in the number of positive cases and also a surge in hospitalization. So that's where we're starting to get concerned, and that's where we're sort of rolling back. We've heard our governor and our Mayor Garcetti talk about sort of the dimmer switch. And when we see this increase in cases, we want to kind of dial back because we don't want the infection to spread and then also impact the hospitals.
There's some very, very simple things that people can do, and obviously the most important part that has been determined is wearing a face covering. How do they help?
Face coverings, when you talk, when you're just normally talking, your nose and your mouth put out little droplets. We know that the virus is spread in those droplets. And just talking back and forth, I'm standing next to you, and if you have COVID and I don't have a mask on and the person talking to me doesn't have a mask on, I'm breathing that in.
Well, I have a whole bunch of masks here, and does any of it matter? Does it matter what they are? I've got, the disposable one that you see around a lot. I've got, a custom cloth one that was designed for me by a dear friend. I've got, a very basic cloth one, and then I've got one that's called a KN95. So does any of this matter?
They're all good. They're starting to do some studies. The cotton masks that have sort of more than one layer are the best. So that's actually the homemade ones with the layering. Is really, really effective. When you're taking your mask off, take it away because the front of your mask is considered to have the virus on it. It's infected. So when you remove it, take it away, throw it away, wash your hands. When you're done wearing your mask for the day, if it's cloth, you need to wash it. Don't reuse them day after day, and consider the front part of it to be infected. The KN95 is not the medical grade one, but it kind of has the same numbers. And those masks are a little more sturdy than the blue mask there, and you can actually put those in like a paper sack, put them over on the side, and then reuse them until they get wet or soiled. If you go just to lacity.org, it's just a wonderful site, not only to provide you with information that's new, but also to resources.
Congresswoman Maxine Waters is continuing her mission to bring meals and services to some of SoCal's forgotten communities. Together with the Office of Council District 15, she is bringing Wanda Lunch to Watts. Take a look.
We want to be able to assist 2,000 people here today with this nutritious food, with the mask. Every car will have at least 4 masks in it for the family, and then the sanitizers for families to use if they'd like to have something.
An organization called Wanda Lunch is putting on a food distribution here in the great community of Watts. During the pandemic, we've had a lot of positive coronaviruses, and so a lot of people are unable to get the resources that they need. And so this event will be a great way to segue into that, into getting those resources to those families in need. Definitely here in Watts especially.
We've done this before in other areas, but today is special. Today is special because I do not want our neighbors and friends in Watts to think that we have forgotten about them.
There's more month than there is money. And so people need to know that civic leaders, that entertainers, that the community care, and that the community is here to give a hand up.
What a day to bring the kids out, because there's nowhere else to go right now because of the pandemic. And I think it's very important that they see stuff like this.
It gives them a chance to get out and see faces that make them happy, music that makes their soul feel good.
My career started in Watts. I always think about the people of Watts and what's happening with them. Let them know that they're never forgotten. That they have people who will always look out no matter where we are.
Most weekends, you can find Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez among her constituents of Council District 7, engaged in a hands-on effort to make lives better. For her latest event, she's packing free meals alongside a small army of volunteers in the never-ending war against food insecurity.
Today we're thanking all the countless volunteers and agencies that have been a part of helping to deliver meals to those with disabilities that are at home.
Sometimes one of the problems that people with disabilities have is going out to be able to go shopping for food because of their immune systems. They may be compromised. So we want to make sure that those people are protected. So we are very happy here to provide that support to them.
This program was made in response to the COVID-19 crisis, so it's a brand new program that was developed in mid-March. It rolled out at the beginning of April, and since then it's delivered the meals weekly. So from our disaster service workers to Help a Honda people, everyone's come together, nonprofit organizations, city employees, to do business differently and make sure that we're getting to the people who need us most.
We all in this together. It's 10 million of us. If we all can just give a little to each other, then we can all move along a long way. We got a lot of homeless and hungry people in the city, and they call you some help just even if a little bit, a couple hours a day.
I think one of the most reassuring parts of this whole circumstance is how the greater humanity was realized and everyone stepping up to help serve those who needed us most.
And while Councilwoman Rodriguez distributed meals with the Department on Disability, another group of local labor unions teamed up with the LA Food Bank to give out food in their neighborhood.
We are here coordinating this food drive-through with the Labor's Local 300 in partnership with the Los Angeles County Federation of Labor and LA Regional Food Bank, providing food to this community and food throughout the greater Los Angeles area. This is our 50th food distribution. We have impacted over 50,000 families, 200,000 individuals.
This is something that the Labor Federation has done ever since this pandemic started, and it's a very, very important move on behalf of organized labor to help not only its members, but the community.
I think this will probably be my 35th food drive. So I've been volunteering since, I want to tell you, March. And so it just feels great to help out the community. It feels great to have all these people who are in need, to get them and tell them, you know, we have a food drive, come through. We're trying to help out as much as we can.
Well, it is important because it shows the togetherness that we're not only for ourselves, but for others also, because when in times like this, it's very important to understand that everybody that is in need needs help, and if we can help, we're there for them.
If the heart of a city is its people, then the soul of a city is its libraries. Libraries embody culture, knowledge, and the spirit of community. And libraries endure through good times and bad. We visited the Los Feliz Branch Library to see the latest example of how LA public libraries are adapting and innovating during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Here we go. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We're really excited about launching Library to Go.
I use this library every week, so I was aware of what was going on.
Since its launch about 2 weeks ago, we've already had more than 35,000 holds. And I think that says a lot about our libraries and about our communities. Our communities love our libraries, and we love serving them.
Come and get your book, enjoy the reading, and keep on doing what the library's always done, which is to educate you and create community.
During this pandemic, it's really helped because people can't physically come into a place, but they can still access us.
We want everyone to know that the health and safety of our patrons are our top priorities. They can safely reserve books online in the comfort of their own homes and feel really good about coming to the libraries, picking up their books, and making sure that social distancing and health and safety practices are observed the entire time.
Right now, during the COVID pandemic, we have to be a little more careful, and I tell you, nobody is more careful than Pearl Yonezawa at Los Feliz Library. There are things put in place that protect your safety.
You know, it's the gentleman that just returned the books. We put them in a bin that none of us touched. We store them on a book cart. They're stored on that book cart for 72 hours, and that's a full 72 hours. And then they are scanned in and they're isolated a little bit more before we would send them out to another person. It's pretty safe. I mean, I feel comfortable taking them home myself.
Our librarians and staff were actually already on board with a very robust collection of services and resources online.
It's got books, it's got magazines, it's got music, it's got films, it's got everything you need, and it's a free ticket.
I think the best thing that people can do is use us. You know, go to www.lapl.org, explore the website, because we have so many things going on.
The City Council votes on relief for renters. The Department of Public Health is taking a survey. And the next load of laundry is on Councilmember Cedillo. All this up next on City Beat.
There is a new relief program that aims to help tenants and landlords who have struggled financially during the pandemic. This program will allocate $103 million to provide rent subsidies for low-income tenants in the city of LA who have been unable to pay their rent. This program was proposed by Council President Nuri Martinez, Councilmember Herb Wesson, and Councilmember Mitchell Farrell, and will provide assistance to an estimated 50,000 households. The application process begins July 13th at 8 a.m. and will end at 11:59 p.m. on July 17th. Interested renters can apply at hcidla@lacity.org. Councilmember Gil Cedillo pays for loads of laundry and free detergent for Council District 1 constituents. Thanks to the partnership with Desi's Coin Laundry, Councilmember Cedillo was able to help 100 low-income families who are struggling financially during the pandemic with free laundry services and detergent. The collaboration accounts for over 200 loads of laundry and provides a service that is an under-recognized necessity during the COVID-19 pandemic. LA County's Department of Public Health has announced a voluntary text message survey that will help find where the most impacted communities are. Called Angelinos in Action, this survey will be sent weekly for 20 weeks and ask the participant how they are feeling with follow-up questions. The survey is confidential and is a way to decide where resources are needed most. Residents over 18 can text @PROTECT to 35134 to enroll.
At a time when unemployment is at record highs, it wouldn't seem like the best time to open a new business. Well, the popular sandwich chain Urbane Cafe is not only having a grand opening, it's giving back in the process. Take a look.
Urbane Cafe is opening in North Hollywood. It's really special because we're able to open at a time where we think that communities need something new, and we hope that we can provide that here in North Hollywood.
We make everything in-house on our fresh baked focaccia bread. So as you go inside our restaurant, you'll notice the hearth oven there where we have our fresh baked focaccia bread. It's not more than 30 minutes from when we make it to it going down the line into your sandwich or salad. Everything is really gourmet. We do everything on site. So it's a little different than some other restaurants where they get all their food from an outside source and then they ship it in. We actually do everything on site here.
The Southwest chicken sandwich. That's the one. I'm ready.
We were actually supposed to open in April, and with everything that kind of happened, we kind of just got it postponed. And now we're just making sure that we're practicing our social distancing and that we only have a certain amount of people that are allowed to come. And then that way we can kind of keep the flow going, and we're also serving everything in to-go packaging so that we're being as safe as possible.
It's great to see an organization helping communities when they're down. They're helping with education. They've been doing iPads for some of these underfunded families in these underserved areas.
Our Workforce Center for Youth, which is amazing with our partnership with Urbane. We help them with jobs. We have enrichment programs that expose young people to things that they would never see based on where they live.
I'm a native Angelino, 68 years old. I love this city, and it's always been about diversity.
Workers at LAX face many of the same risks of exposure to COVID-19 as other frontliners, but many feel they have been forgotten. So dozens of them took to the streets in a caravan of protest. Their demands, better working conditions, and better personal protective equipment. Here's their story.
Well, we're taking action today here in LA and across the state. Passenger service workers are calling on airlines like United and Southwest to take more responsibility for the health and safety of passengers and passenger service workers.
We're also fighting for safe flight paths because it's unfair that they fly their aircrafts over the communities and unsafe fueling over our communities.
We know also that, the coronavirus affects predominantly black and brown people due to the lack of health care and pre-existing conditions. We also know that there is a huge environmental impact that goes along this flight path of higher respiratory problem, cancer. So these are some of the things that we're calling our racial justice.
Es importante de respetar a la gente y todo lo que está pasando, ¿verdad? Seguridad es bien importante, so ¿por qué no ayudar, verdad?
We're calling on the airport officials to make sure the companies and the airlines to make sure that we keep LAX safe for the traveling public and also the workers.
It is no small feat to keep a city like Los Angeles running. Dozens of local government agencies must work in concert to keep the lights on, to keep its citizens safe, to work smoothly and effectively, often without much recognition. Well, one such agency that is always on the clock is LA Sanitation and Environment. Maria Hall Brown reports.
Responsible for watershed protection, wastewater treatment, and collection of solid resources, LA Sanitation and Environment had to make some pretty dramatic changes when the virus hit the city. But fortunately, those changes were made. And here to explain what happened, Enrique Salvador. He is the director and GM of LA Sanitation and Environment. So nice to have you here. Okay, I got to start right off the bat with the show and tell. When LA Sanitation and Environment had to make adjustments to the department, you put together something pretty special for your employees.
That's right. So, as you said, Maria, much of our workforce needed to stay working.
Yes.
But the hand sanitizer became a critical item that we
couldn't find.
So we had the capacity to make it in-house.
We have seen recently a lot of the protests and multiple tens of thousands of people walking through the street of Los Angeles. How did that affect LA San?
Our job was to clean up following the demonstrations, whether it was litter, whether it was debris. Having a bunch of trash containers in the midst of the demonstration can always have a catch-22, because we certainly don't want the trash bins to themselves become something that could be set on fire or anything like that. So we would come in afterwards.
Are you feeling okay with how people are behaving in terms of keeping their environmental thoughts in their minds, even though we're kind of going back to a somewhat disposable world for a short time?
Maria, that's a question that I had actually contemplated prior, because keep in mind, our mission is to protect public health and the environment.
Right.
Well, those two usually are complementary, but there are times in which they may clash. I mean, you saw where stores, they were not requiring people bringing their reusable bags.
Right.
And giving away thicker plastic bags, and the governor relaxed the state requirement. We were fine with it, because what became more important then is that folks needed to feel safer about their public health. So this is the one instance in which public health can trump environmental protection until we're able to get them to be complementary again.
Well, if people want to learn more about LA Sanitation and Environment, what's the website they should go to?
LACDSan.org.
Well, I thank you so much for telling me all this wonderful information and for sharing some time with me.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you.
Traditions are good. Here in LA, we have a little tradition that happens every year, and this year is no exception. The events are different, but the hometown spirit is the same. We're talking, of course, about Dodger Day in East LA.
Today we're out here at Belvedere Park in East Los Angeles for the 5th of our Dodger Day Drive-Thru Series events. Families are struggling during this time. People who are in challenged neighborhoods and underserved neighborhoods, their crisis has been exacerbated. And so we reached out to our families to understand what they needed. They returned back to us and said, hey, we're hungry. Our kids are bored at home. Our kids need things to do. Now with school out and all of that, families come here, they get meals. They come here and they get educational resources like books and other things, equipment, so the glove and the jump rope that they can use.
Hay gente que tenemos necesidad por eso estamos viniendo a que nos den ayuda. Gracias a todos por todo lo que han hecho.
Oh, it's awesome. They're giving back to the community. It's great, especially to have my girls here to experience that too. That's awesome. Let's go Dodgers! Let's go Dodgers! Yeah!
We're really grateful. Well, we're going to keep participating as long as our community needs us. So whenever they need us, we're going to be here waiting and ready.
Gotta have Rich Hill.
Oh, yeah.
It's just really great that they're passing out something for the kids, even though they can't be playing baseball right now. So that means a lot to them.
It's been hard for the kids, especially since they're at home all day. They really can't go out, so this is a good opportunity to see everybody working together.
I think one of the most emotional moments for me last week was a child whose mom sent in a note that basically said it was his favorite day of the year. 2020 has been a really tough time, and so for a kid to say that that was his favorite day of the year, driving through our series where he wasn't even able to get out the car or take off his mask or barely roll his window down, but he received so many amazing things from the Dodgers Foundation. So just us being able to be out here and bring a little happiness to a young child or to an adult is so important.
Help with the Wilmington Community Cleanup. Join the International Dance Marathon competition for charity, or check out the E-Rock Kids Market in Eagle Rock. All this next on Things to Do.
Wilmington starts off summer with some spring cleaning. Join residents in Council District 15 for an open-air community cleanup. If possible, bring a broom, dustpan, or landscaping equipment. Event coordinators will provide face masks, gloves, and trash bags. Be ready to roll up your sleeves and beautify the streets at the Wilmington Community Cleanup. Saturday, July 18th from 8 a.m. to noon. For more information, check out their listing on Facebook events. For the past few years, a new generation of young Mexican artists have been exploring the confluence of traditional rhythms, jazz, and classical music. Music journalist Beto Arcos talks to 3 musicians who are at the forefront of this exciting new trend. This Zoom event promises to be a gem. Check out music presentation El Son de la Nueva Generación, creating new music with traditional Mexican instruments. It drops Friday, July 17th, beginning at 7 p.m. For more information, check out their listing on Facebook events. Join the first annual International Dance Marathon. You are invited to partake in an event connecting with friends and strangers both near and far by getting your groove on for a good cause. $15 covers your registration and donation to folks affected by COVID-19. The International Dance Marathon Series offers an exciting opportunity to win money, have fun, and help others. Don't miss this worldwide groundbreaking event. The competition will take place July 11th at 12 p.m. For tickets, visit internationaldancemarathon.com. Families, you're all invited to the E-Rock Kids Market on Sunday, July 19th, 12 to 2 p.m. Come and enjoy an outing at E-Rock Kids Market and let your kids shop around for some food to prepare for a family meal. We'll also have flowers to buy to fancy up your family dinner time. To maintain safety, the event will practice social distancing and masks are required for all family members. To explore, contact Raquel at nextgen@eaglerockbaptist.com for more information. And that's a look at some things to do.
That's it for this edition. I'm Saida Pagan. From all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.